Chris Jenkins with Charlotte Vibe with my day after thoughts on the Baltimore Ravens versus the Carolina Panthers. The final score in this game was Carolina 36, Baltimore 21, and it wasn't even that close. One of those touchdowns came down at the last minute, but you know, I like to do these day after thoughts because I can go into a little bit more detail, more so than I can during the game day when I do the interviews with the players afterwards. So just in no particular order, first thing that comes to mind is when Baltimore started using Jackson as quarterback, I was looking and I just kept looking saying, man, why is this, number one, I see them using him more as a quarterback than I feel like they have in the past. It seemed like it was an automatic run, but yesterday he was doing some passes and just some other different looks, some really different looks. And I felt like as this was transpiring that our team seemed almost dazed by it. You know, it was like, I felt like they could be playing better, but it's like they're a little bit slow reacting. And so I did go into the locker room after the game and talk to a few players about it. And they said that essentially when you do have something come at you like that, the way that Jackson did yesterday, it does kind of put you on your heels just a little bit because you weren't expecting it like that. And you're trying to figure out how to adjust for it. And I think that's what that was confirmed on my belief that had them on their heels and had them slow. And I said, did you guys make some adjustments? And they said, yeah. And I felt like after that first quarter, you did see Jackson play, but you saw a completely different reaction from the defense on that. And I know with this season so far, there's been talk about Eric Washington's job. Man, if he wasn't solid, and I'm not saying that he's the best, but I feel like my thing with Washington all season has been, let's see how he progresses. We've had 3 different defensive coordinators in 3 different years. Sometimes, yeah, things can take a second for that dot to get connected for the next player. And they made the adjustments and played a very sound, solid game after that. Not to mention their quarterback hits that we had, the sacks that we had, pass deflections. I think I got the stats right in front of me real quick. I can run them off to you guys. We had, let's see, we had 5 pass deflections, 7 quarterback hits, and 2 sacks. That's pretty solid. The thing that made me most happy yesterday that I couldn't wait to do this video today to talk more about was the play of Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore, and CJ Anderson. So all season long, I said there's no shade on Christian McCaffrey. I don't wish that he played less, but you have a very, very sound proven running back in CJ Anderson, very capable guy. Why not give him some snaps just to prolong the life of Christian McCaffrey, just to have him really strong in the later part of the season? I don't know why it took so long, but yesterday CJ Anderson had the most snaps that he's had since week 1 versus Dallas. I didn't get a chance to see if he had the most carries, but he had 5 carries, 20 yards, 4-yard average. That's, you know, I'm glad that we did that. Very glad that we did that. DJ Moore had the game against Washington, and all you guys were just like jumping ship on DJ. I felt pretty quick. And you know, yesterday he said something interesting about, you know, was this relief or reprieve? I don't remember the exact words, but I remember DJ's comments was he glad that thing happened in DC because he's a rookie. He said, I learned from that. So he played really, really good yesterday. He had by far the most snaps that he has had all season. That took a little bit away from Funches, but I mean, I completely liked the balance that I loved, actually, is what I should say, the balance that we had yesterday with DJ Moore. 90, what did he have? 90, almost 100 yards receiving, and I think he had about 40 yards rushing. Really good game by DJ Moore. Curtis Samuels, he had 26 snaps yesterday and was perfect on his catches, 3 for 3. Made a heck of a play on special teams to get that ball down inside the 5-yard line, I believe it was. So DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, CJ Anderson, Mr. Turner, because if you guys have been watching my videos, I can't say this guy's first name for whatever reason. Please keep it up. I ain't gonna ask you about what took you so long. I'm just gonna get on this boat, this bus with you, and I like the play calling. The play calling yesterday was pretty good. All the different, I can't, you know, it just all comes to mind at once as I think about it now, but there were some plays that we did yesterday that was new, and that really took advantage of the personnel that we had out there because you were able to have all these guys out there. I know Rivera today talked about this being the most overall speed that he's had on the team since he's been here. Yeah, he's had fast guys, but he's only had one. But he has a lot of fast guys, and he feels like that's helping open up so many things, which is, I'm gonna move on. Still makes me go say, why did we wait so long to get all these guys back like this? And when Torrey Smith comes back, I hope that his snaps are minimized, not because I hated Torrey Smith, but just because these other guys, I believe, easily show much more potential than Torrey has been showing. So if you guys remember the end of that first half, things looked confusing, and I was getting kind of agitated watching. They had a play, and it seemed like, I don't know, like what, 17 seconds ago, they just started walking around. You're like, I mean, you guys had enough time that you felt to do something. And if you take this penalty, obviously you're gonna take Graham Gano out of field goal range. They take the penalty, they go back, Heineke comes out, and you're thinking I'm thinking they're gonna do a Hail Mary, but they throw a pass to Olsen, and he gets out of bounds. Next thing you know, we have a field goal, which I was ecstatic about. So I asked about that, and there was indeed true confusion throughout that whole sequence about players not knowing what was gonna happen, players not knowing what the play was gonna be. And then as they're running their routes, they're thinking like, what's going on? And just see the ball gets dumped off to Greg, and then they're happy about it. So I won't reveal who told me that information, but I would just confirm that there was confusion. But it was one of those things that they had a lot of things yesterday just go right for them. And that's what you need in order to have a successful season and make it deep. You need some breaks. You need to be able to get a short pass to Greg Olsen and still make a field goal after what seems to be just a terrible sequence of plays. You need DJ Moore catching a little pitch that was not right on target. You need Christian McCaffrey that seemed like he was zoned in on catching that pass that was intended for Funches, got tipped, and he scored a touchdown. And we got all those breaks yesterday, and it made for a really exciting game. I want to leave you all with a few facts. Oh, before I go to a few facts, how about the Ravens going for it in the first quarter inside the 10-yard line? Several players felt like that was very disrespectful to this defense. And once I heard that, I was like, okay, I can see that, right? You went for it in the first quarter inside that's saying like, I know these guys aren't paying attention. We're gonna completely catch them off guard so much that I'll risk doing it that I'm basically gonna give this team a score if this does not go perfectly. That was extremely disrespectful. Unfortunately, the Panthers were able to make a stand on that, and the players said that kind of made them start to build and have some extra motivation to play hard against this team, and they did so. Some quick facts that I'll start to leave you all with from this game. Carolina has won 9 games in a row at home, and that is tying New England Patriots for the longest active streak in the NFL. And also McCaffrey scored his 7th career receiving touchdown. And this shows you how dynamic this group of guys are that we have. Christian McCaffrey is only in his 2nd season, and he has tied Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams for most receiving touchdowns by a running back in franchise history. Now, some of it you could say, well, we had such good wide receivers in the past that we didn't have to do that with our running backs, and I could kind of take that, but I still go to say, you know, kudos to Christian for only in this, not even midway through his 2nd season, having tied those guys who had plenty of seasons with the Carolina Panthers. So overall, I don't get into predictions too much, but I like this team's chances to go into the playoffs and have a competitive playoff. I'm not going to say they're going to win the Super Bowl, they're going to make the Super Bowl, but I feel like fans will have a season of a lot of happiness with this team that we have here. Starting Wednesday, I'll be back in the locker room. My focus this week will be talking to the linemen. I haven't talked to the linemen a lot, and the lineman, Cam, has only had 10 sacks through this season, which is, I think, half of what he had at this point last season. So I'm going to spend some time talking to the linemen and seeing what they're doing, just so, you know, those guys don't get enough shine, right? And so if you have any questions, comments, things that you want me to do, I always say I work for you guys. I sincerely mean it. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this team. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will gladly go and get those answers for you. I'm Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe.